in exchange for XYZ. I think that's a story that's going to be told.
At a minimum, a man who promised to drain the swamp seems to have surrounded himself with some big alligators in terms of what kind of behavior he allowed to be around him and in the halls of government. Whether or not it's a crime, collusion doesn't even exist as a legal concept. It would have to be conspiracy. We'll see. Let me ask you about a more present danger, which is what's going on with health care in this country. There is an assumption that if the Senate gets through the Graham-Cassidy bill, the House will be an echo. Do you believe that?
You know, I think so. I think so. And
you can't stop it. There's nothing the Democrats can do. Because right now, your big agent seems to be Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel is the loudest voice from the left on this.
That's right. No, look, the Democrats are obviously in opposition and sounding that trumpet as loudly as we can. Americans need to understand that Graham-Cassidy means a lot fewer Americans with health care coverage, and they need to understand that despite what Senator Cassidy is saying, this means largely doing away with the idea that if you have a pre-existing condition, you can get coverage. Now, is that just a Democratic member of Congress talking? No, it is also the entire health care industry. The American Medical Association, you name the doctors group, you name the providers group, the hospitals, they have said do not pass this bill because they understand the devastation that would be wreaked in the industry. What's happening right now, Chris, is, as you know, September 30th, the ability of the Senate to pass a bill with just 51 votes goes away because the reconciliation goes away on September 30th. We've seen no hearings on Graham-Cassidy. We've seen, none of the regular order that John McCain has aggressively called for. John McCain, Republican senator. Instead, what we're seeing is the last gasp of an instinct to deliver on a promise which was never really a good idea to begin with, which is that we're going to repeal Obamacare. But it's really important, and I think my Republican friends are coming to understand that repeal means kicking millions and millions of Americans off of their health insurance and putting an awful lot of Americans back to where they were 10 years ago, where they couldn't get insurance.
No question that the ACA has problems that need to be fixed, that arguably should have been fixed sooner. But what will the remedy be? Politics versus policy. We'll see how it plays out. Congressman, thank you as always for being on New Day to make the case.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, now coming up in our next hour, we're going to talk with President Trump's national security advisor, H.R. McMaster. So many issues of national security on the president's desk. Where does he stand? The big headline this morning, the president says he made a decision, Allison, on the Iran deal. What is it?
Can't wait to hear that, Chris. All right, meanwhile, a bipartisan group of governors are also speaking out against the latest Republican effort to repeal